How's it going, guys? It's Logan here on the Animeister channel, bringing you another chapter review of Jujutsu Kaisen. This week we have chapter 122 of Jujutsu Kaisen, titled The Shibuya Incident 40, Part 40. Now in this chapter we have a lot of interesting things that happen. It's mostly centered around Mahito and what he can do, which I think is a really cool way to do this chapter. So we have it starting out with the continuation of Itadori and Mahito's fight. Mahito is trying to really, inflict not only physical damage to Itadori throughout this entire fight that continues on, but also psychological damage. We see that in the fact that he's not using a lot of his own body to transform. He's transforming other people. He's taking their souls and modifying them, opposed to modifying his own soul so he can stay safer and not risk being damaged by Itadori's crazy power. Also, it's to mess with his head, as it's seen in one of the panels. He takes two people, he modifies their souls so that way they walk, and he hides inside one of them, only to crawl out to attack Itadori afterwards. And that is oh so creepy and oh so awful. It just making Itadori think that anyone can be a potential threat is probably devastating to this entire fight. It's going to make a real difference. We also see that Mahito can not only just change their form into attack them with like hands or turn them into birds or rats or mice or monsters, he can also turn pieces of people's soul into weapons. He makes a sword in this chapter and tries to attack Itadori. We also get a flashback to the beginning of the Shibuya incident before anything happened, where the water spirit Dagon is sucking up a bunch of people. You also have Jogo there, and you also have the imposter, we also have our wonderful imposter of the late, great Jujutsu sorcerer, as well as Mahito. And Mahito displays his new ability, which I think is crazy and also so cool and makes sense for a lot of reasons. And would make sense given his power set, and that's the ability to split himself into two. He's able to take his soul and divide it in half and move it. So he is not only able to alter the way he looks and alter his state of being, but he's also able to just straight up cut himself in half and have two of him run around. It's like Shadow Clone Jutsu, but on a way different scale. You're not making a copy of yourself. You're literally taking yourself and splitting yourself into two. It's like the Hydra at this point. We get to see where the other half of Mahito was going, which is to above ground, not into the subway station fighting Itadori, but instead go and fighting the girl, who I cannot remember her name. It will flash now, whatever her name is. It's gonna kill me later. I'm just gonna say, oh. The fight with Mahito and her ensues. She breaks out her hammer and nails and her voodoo curse technique, which is really cool. I love seeing her use the voodoo dolls and see her power set as she gets through, but also the fact that she can just hit nails so hard they're like baseballs running at your face is really quite... it's powerful and intense. We see the fight just begin. It's like what happened with Itadori in the first one. In the first couple chapters, when he was fighting Mahito, you got to see the first little squabble near the beginning. So we see her use hairpin to pin him to a door, and he's got to break him. He's got to break his own arm off, and she is pissed and just ready to destroy Mahito. And not even for the reasons that Itadori wants to kill Mahito. I'm sure if she knew that Nanami was dead, she would also be just as furious and just as incredibly mad as Itadori is. But you never know. She might find out somehow. I wonder if there is a link between both Mahitos. I wonder if they can like sense each other, or if they can know anything, or do they have to merge back together in order for them to finally get all the information? Is it that type with the Shadow Clone Jutsu in Naruto? I'm really excited to see where this goes. Can he split himself into more than two people? Can he go even smaller? This opens up like a bag of worms, or a can of worms, with Mahito's abilities. If he's able to just sever his soul into different pieces, can he just like pop off his arm and just use that and alter it that way? I'm really intrigued to see how he uses his soul and how he moves it around and alters himself, because we've already seen he's much more powerful than he was when Itadori first met him, based on everything that's been happening throughout the fight, and it'll be really cool to see what he does in this fight as well. Well, technically he's fighting them both at the same time, sort of. Also, I'm really excited to see what's going to happen when the two Mahitos merge back together. Is he just going to be twice as powerful as he was before, or does the power scale? Does the power not scale, and he's just as powerful in both bodies, opposed to being half as powerful? I think it's going to be the former rather than the latter, because having the two of them merge together and he becomes more powerful is a standard. It's a standard thing. It makes sense. It also is just probably the easiest way to write that. It's going to be... I'm so excited. I cannot stress enough how excited I am to see this new fight and to see just how much she's improved with her curse techniques, because we saw Itadori's training, we saw him get better, but we haven't seen Megumi or him get any better. We haven't seen the extent of their limits yet and what they're able to do. We saw a little bit with the exam and with the joint training exercise, but we didn't get to see the full potential, I don't think, of what they're actually able to do. I'm excited to read next week's chapter. It's going to be a little bit later because this one was released earlier. I think that's fine. Can't wait to see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe if you want to see more. Like and comment below if you'd like. Well, goodbye!